Hey guys, Greg here.
Hey guys, so I'm here at Cape Flattery, which is the northwestern tip of Washington State. And this officially ends my West Coast trip. So it began at the intersection of the Pacific Ocean and the Mexico-US border in California, and it ends here. The trip in total took 4 full days of driving, so 4 like 10-hour days on the road. And it was unbelievable. I've never driven the entire coast like this. I've driven the #1 highway in California twice. I've always had stop-offs in like Portland, or I hopped on the 101 or the interstate to make time. So this time I went all the way to the bottom, to the top, staying as close as I possibly could to the coast the whole time. So yeah, pretty awesome.
So this week I drove the Pacific Coast Highway from here to here, although the trip technically began last week down here. The Coastal Highway is amazing. If you live in the West, Highway 1 and 101 are like road tripping 101. It's a road trip that's not dangerous or remote, but still incredibly fun and incredibly scenic. Now, I went to the extreme and tackled the entire West Coast of the United States. But the more typical version of the road trip would be Los Angeles to Seattle or Seattle to Los Angeles, stopping in Portland and San Francisco along the way. I've already been to all these cities at least twice, so this time around I just stuck to the coast route and camped along the way. The coastal route does go right through Los Angeles and San Francisco. You have to veer off a little bit to go to Portland. Anyways, Highway 1 is only in California. The #1 highway is typically what people are referring to when they say the Pacific Coast Highway. There are parts of the one that actually merge with the 101, like the Golden Gate Bridge, for example, is technically part of the 1 and the 101. And then eventually Highway 1 ends, or begins, depending on whether you're going north or south. I was heading north, so for me, Highway 1 ended and I continued north on the 101. The 101 is also a coastal drive, going through Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. But it does veer away from the coast more often than Highway 1. On the 101, you spend a lot of time in the forest right near the coast, which is also awesome because you pass through the redwoods and then you reach the Pacific Northwest. It does also feel like more of a major highway for most of the route as compared to Highway 1. Anyway, the Pacific Coast Drive as a whole is incredibly scenic and incredibly fun to drive, what with all the twisting and turning. One thing I did notice is it would be more convenient to drive the coast southbound because all the scenic viewpoints are on the west side, the side with the ocean. So if you're going northbound, you have to cross a lane of opposing traffic to get to all the scenic pull-offs and turnouts and everything. Which is fine, but it does feel kind of weird sometimes because most of the time you can't see too far ahead because of all the twisting and turning in the road. But another thing I realized is when you're driving, it's always easier to look at things out your left window than your right window, right? If you're driving and something's on your left, you're just, oh, there it is. But if something's on your right, you're, leaning forward to try and look through the passenger side window. And the ocean is always on the west side. So if you're driving north on the Pacific Coast Highway, the ocean's always right there. So I guess what I'm saying is the optimal position for driving the Pacific Coast Highway is being a passenger heading southbound, or driving southbound in a right-hand drive car. In any case, it's a beautiful drive, lots of bridges, lots of trees, lots of coast. Not a lot of wildlife, but I did see some elk and some seals. California, Oregon, and Washington are all pretty sweet states, especially California. And San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle are all pretty sweet cities. I didn't really spend much time in them this time around, but I've been there before and they are all pretty awesome. Los Angeles sucks. I was happy to drive through and not stop. Hollywood's cool for like an hour when I'm there, but then I just can't wait to get out of that city. Anyway, I know I've said it like 700 times, but the Pacific Coast Highway is beautiful. After reaching Cape Flattery, I headed east towards Seattle.
Hey guys, just got on the ferry to Seattle. This will be the last boat ride my car gets for a while. It's the last boat I'll be on my journey. Definitely a nice day for a boat ride.
And that night I slept in Everett, just north of Seattle. So this week ends in Everett. Thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you same time, different place next week.